sounds like that guy that's going to serve us Chinese tonight.
Hello.
Yeah, that's racist.
Oh.
That's on camera.
Hey, you're gonna get done.
Bleep it out.
We're going to the zoo.
Zoo. Zoo. I wanna be like you. That's the wrong song.
Good song.
Go the mighty jungle.
Instead of going in the car, we are going on a 40-minute walk. So, at least it's another glorious day. And I'm very excited.
The second we see other people, I'm not with these.
Whatever, you love it.
Yeah, stick that in.
This is the kind of path that we used to. Here's where we were the other day.
Them kids screaming at the seagulls. Like me when I was younger.
I think that one's a bit drunk. I'm getting picked up. Yeah, that's right. You shout at them.
This is very nice.
Exit the roundabout onto Edgewood.
Little tea room. We're very lucky to be having this weather.
25 on their next birthday. And they're all from Longleat Safari Park. Anybody been to Longleat before? Yay, hands up. So they're all from Longleat, and like I said, all related. Now, Boss, he's the one looking like something out of a L'Oreal advert. He's got that lovely mane, that beautiful mane. You can't really you can't mistake him from the rest. He's pretty obvious who he is. And then his two sisters, Samira and Amali, they'll be coming here and here. So, like I said, all related from Longleat. And you're probably thinking, if they are all related and they're of a sexual mature age now, we'll say, how do we stop them from breeding? Very good question. I'll let you know. Well, let's just say I'm going to keep it PG because there are a few kids in the audience, I see. So you can use your own discretion when I say this, but measures have been taken to ensure that our male lion, Boss, can't breed. Snip, snip. You're a bit of a real sensitive subject for some of the guys in the audience, maybe. A bit of a sore one, so to speak. But rest assured, there will be no baby cubs in this enclosure because when it comes to our male lion, Boss, he has decided to be a non-breeder. You can see the release gate opening now, so very shortly we will be seeing lions. Are we all excited to see these lions, guys? Yes, okay, so any minute now they'll be coming out. So like I said, he's not the breeder, our male lion is not breeding, but our females are still involved in the breeding programme, so they can be called out at any time to go and get involved in that and make some lovely little cubs. But while they're here at NEWQUAY Zoo, that won't be happening. Here's our male lion, Boss, named rightly so, and here comes the female. So of course he is the boss of this enclosure, and he was named after his dad, who was called Hugo. Very inventive. And also one of his favourite fragrances, actually, one of his favourite forms of enrichment when it comes to scent is Hugo Boss. At the weekends he likes Beyonce Heat. He likes to switch it up a little bit. But that's our Boss on the far end of the enclosure. On the left hand side will be Samira. She's a little bit more dominant than her sister Amali, who's here closest to her. But African lions. Now, no prizes for guessing why they're called African lions or guessing where they're from. They are, of course, situated or distributed in Africa, usually, or typically from South Sudan all the way down to the National Kruger Park in South Africa. So they're Central and Sub-Saharan species. However, they're not the only species of lion that we get out in the world. We also get the Asiatic lion. They exist in quite a small population out in Asia, and they're a little bit different in appearance. So they're slightly lighter in colour, and they do have a smaller mane also, but their diet's very similar to an African lion. They're still apex predators, so they are top of the food chain. And when it comes to apex predators, literally anything is a meal, anything is prey for these guys. So they can tackle anything from a small scrubland hare all the way up to the biggest land animal on the planet. Does anybody think they know what the biggest land animal on the planet is? If you do, I want you to shout it out after the count of 3. So, on the count of 3, the biggest land animal on the planet. 1, 2, 3.
Daniel Freeman.
Elephant, that's a whisper. That's a whisper, guys. A small mumble. Yes, it is an elephant. So these guys literally will tackle anything out in the wild. Nothing is too small nor too big for an apex predator. But their typical prey items will come in the form of zebras, wildebeest, and inyalas. Anything with 4 legs that runs, really. Buffalo. So now is your opportunity, guys, to dictate how this talk goes. So you get to choose how much you learn today, because I am going to ask you whether or not you'd like to know what meat these lions are eating today. Now you are watching them crunch it right in front of you, bone crunching and all. So if you would like to know what meat they're eating, I will need to see as many of you with your hands in the air as possible. If I don't see at least 2/3 of you with your hands in the air, I just can't tell you, I'm afraid. Simply can't tell you. It's a bit gory. So if you want to know the meat they're eating, put your hands up now, in the air. All of you, go on. You want to see mama? Go on, you gory lot. I know you want to know. Yeah, fantastic. That's more than enough. Okay. I'm going to reveal all. Okay, if you don't want to know, then I should you just put a finger in your ear. 2 fingers, 1 ear. Oh, not the same one. Each ear. And sing a little tune to yourself. So we've got Boss here showing his dominance. He's coming over with his piece of meat. He wants to move. That's fine. That's normal. So there might be a bit of growling going on. It's all exciting. So if you do want to know what meat they're eating, listen out. So here I am, going to reveal all. So the meat that our lions are eating today is horse meat. Yum yum. In fact, to be more precise, it is wild Dartmoor and Exmoor pony. Oh, I know, the faces. Oh. Okay, I'm going to explain to you why we feed them this. Number 1, very, very closely related to their main prey items out in the wild. So the black and white striped animal that I mentioned earlier. Looks very much like a horse. Anyone know what that is?
Zebra!
Zebra, you got it. So very closely related to zebras, horses and ponies. And very good for these guys too. So the sort of meat that we'd eat, so lamb, beef, pork, that sort of thing. Very fattening for an African lion, and they are very fluctuant in their weight, so they can put on weight very quickly and they can lose weight ever so quickly. So it is important that we feed them just the right type of meat for them. In addition to that, it's very much of a reduce, reuse, recycle process with the horse meat that we use, because it is part of a government poll. So a lot of it gets sent off to the zoos, the other half gets sent off to fights.
Oh, sweet
Here we go. This is
Oh, what's his name?
I think I'm going to name it Roxy after the one here.
Oh.
She was telling me all about her.
She's 15.
15, yeah, and a local girl, born and bred here.
Oh.
Cornish.
You're a prick.
So, well, Nuki's off.
So we're done with the zoo now. It was really fun. Got to see the lions, as you saw. And now we're going to go find some food and something to drink because it's very hot. Richard's going to be constantly puppeteering for the rest of the holiday now. We're back here doing the same walk on the way back. So we did. This bit's the only like squelchy bit, obviously. But it's a nice walk. Oh, doggy.